Blog Talk Radio.
I've always marveled, whenever I see somebody like, Sabrina or Venus Williams or Tiger Woods or Tom Brady, I look at these unbelievably gifted athletes, and it's across the spectrum, right? There are dancers, and there are poets, and there are actors, and there are playwrights, and there are painters, and, whenever you get into the creative arts, you got that, the really the upper echelon, right? The elite. And it's always interesting because whenever I watch these elite performers in society, even Bill Gates, we talked about him this week. We talked about Napoleon Hill. It was his birthday this week. Whenever I look at these top tier, the elite among us, I always am blown away when they talk about getting better. They talk about just getting better. Tiger Woods, when he was in his prime, he used to talk about getting better, getting a bit more focused, working just a little bit harder. The Williams sisters, the tennis stars, unbelievable. Just recently, this guy, Tom Brady, he's a American football player, New England Patriot champion, just unbelievably good. He's actually better after 10 years than he was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year. And so whenever I see these guys who are already at the top of their game, I go, man, how can they get any better? And then I just experienced our last week, the last week that we had here together as a community, as a ninja tribe in the Traffic Authority. So right now the goal is I'm focusing on next week. Today we'll celebrate what we did this last week and the unbelievably, really, really cool things that happened. And can we get better? When we're already number one in the world in the MLM rankings as far as percentage increase, activity, views, inspiration, excitement on the internet. And we just went up to 700. Well, we'll talk about a little bit more in a moment. A little bit more about those specifics and those statistics in a moment. In the meantime, though, I'm just sitting here this morning, just enjoying my quiet time, making my notes, going through some research material, and realizing that we're up there, right? We're up there with the Williams sisters. We're up there with the Tiger Woods of the world. We are up there in the stratosphere. We really are. The world is taking notice. Listen, I do want to welcome you guys this morning. Right now, you are listening to the Traffic Report. This is the week's end wrap-up. For the benefit of those of you who have been invited as a guest, welcome. Going to share with you a little bit this morning about some of the things that we are doing and exactly what it is that we're doing. And then we're going to open it up and we're going to hear some contributions and some comments from some of our Ninja members. If you have a question, maybe you're somebody who was on the webinar last night and you saw this thing and you're really excited and you feel the buzz and you see the thing happening out there on the internet and you have a question, you can ask a question this morning. This is for everyone here. We do this every single morning. My name is Joe, and I'm the host of Traffic Report. Every single day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come together. Okay, it's like old school, right? We're on the telephone. Although we're really on the internet. We're broadcasting live right now at radioleverage.com. So anybody who has an internet connection, whether your cell phone or your laptop or whatever the case may be, you can plug in radioleverage.com, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day, Monday through Friday. On Saturday, tomorrow, we're going to be coming together at 1 in the afternoon tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And that's the Visionary Founders Call. That's when we hear from the actual founders of the Traffic Authority, and we hear from their guests, and we go for maybe an hour, and we hear about some of the upcoming things. So you want to make sure that you're there, okay? But my point of this discussion right now is to let you know that we're out here live every single day, kind of old school, right? Everybody loves the webinars. The webinars like the rage the last couple of years. Webinars. As a matter of fact, the webinar we presented to you last night, okay, we'll admit it, it was a recorded webinar because it was so good. But you know what? We're always getting better. And next week, for those of you Vincent Ortega Jr. fans, next week we have a webinar with a different someone else. There are many top-tier leaders here. There are so many people who are just crushing it here. So next week, we'll be back live on Thursday night. But, you know, this Google Hangout thing, right, people just love them, right? It's just like, oh, we got to do a Hangout. Well, that's what this is really every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, except you can call in with your telephone. You see, with a Google Hangout, if there is an issue with Google Hangout, is you can't call in from a telephone. You know, if you go back to GoToWebinar in the old days, GoToWebinar, you can call in on a telephone and listen. But with Google Hangouts, you can't, all right? So the cool thing about this thing we do every single morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is we're kind of off. We're outside of that restriction, right? So you have a telephone. You're free to call in every single day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Now, if you're listening right now online at radioleverage.com or tatrafficreport.com, it's all the same place. If you're listening live right now, it's the 30th. It's the 30th of October. It is right now like 8:06 in the morning out here on the West Coast, 11:06 on the East Coast. There it is. I did some clock work for you there. If you're listening live right now, I invite you to pick up the telephone if you're listening online and dial us up at 914-338-0631. And when you get there, you'll hear a lovely British lass. Is that the word? A female voice will welcome you and then tell you what to do. Press 1 and you'll be in the queue to speak to the host. That's me. I'm the host. All right, now for the benefit of those of you who have been invited here this morning or maybe after the webinar last night, you want to come and you want to get a few things cleared up here. Let me give you just a quick recap, okay? And for those of you ninjas who have been with us for a long time, you come here every single day. Sometimes we go for 2, even 3 hours listening to the team talk about their success and their results and asking questions as well. But let me give you a bit of a recap, okay? This traffic authority thing actually is the culmination of decades of experience. And I mean that. Okay, two of the 3 co-founders were at the very beginning of the internet marketing thing. It is true. Chad, he's the primary programmer. He was there at the very beginning. I'm talking like in the late 90s when the internet was just, like brochures. It was just brochureware. And in the business opportunity sector, we were coming out of the home meetings and the hotel meetings, and suddenly there was this internet thing. And it was a huge opportunity, but how do we crack the code? What do you really do to begin marketing products on the internet? Well, this guy, Chad, he was there at the very beginning, and he developed some of the first online automated marketing systems. One was called QuickLister. It was revolutionary. So he was there at the very beginning, and since then he has been the programmer for some of the biggest, most successful, most productive online marketing programs ever. The one that comes to mind is the reverse funnel system. For those of you guys that remember the reverse funnel system back in the mid to late last decade, whatever you call it, the early 2000s, this thing was like printing money. This was the equivalent of having a printing press, and it was spitting out $100 bills if you plugged in to reverse funnel system. That's who that dude is. One of the other partners, Greg, I met him in the 90s, right? I've known this guy for a long time. That's why I'm here, because I really know this guy. I understand who he is, and the leadership is so solid, right? But when I met this guy, we were in Cancun, Mexico. We were at an event, and he was a top-tier marketer. He was a guy that was just, really, really good at making money, and he was very, very good at developing leads. And at that time, what he was doing was running classified ads in major newspapers across the entire United States, and then bundling the responses. He would place an ad in the newspaper with an 800 number, and people would call the 800 number looking for information, and then he would take those names and telephone numbers and bundle them. He was going big, right? He always thinks big. And he would bundle them and make them available to people, to buy. And then all of a sudden, to buy leads for their business. His business was so big, he was making so much money in his business, and this was the thing he was doing, that he decided to go and become a lead vendor. Because did you know that during the Great California Gold Rush back in the day in the 1800s, that the people who made the most money in the gold rush were not the gold miners. The people who made the most money were the people who supplied the picks and the axes and the shovels. Even Levi's, the jean company, that Levi's is about that was invented during the gold rush because people needed tough pants, because these were tough people out there digging holes. They needed tough pants that weren't going to rip. And that's where Levi's came onto the scene. They're still here. My point is that Greg Chambers figured early on that there's a fortune to be made in the lead generation business, and he was there at the very, very beginning. Before Google was invented, before that URL was invented, before there was Facebook, before there was Yahoo, there was a company called Best Leads, and that's Greg Chambers. Those are the founders, right? And now all of a sudden we have some new technology here. We've got this kid named Adam Whiting who's absolutely brilliant when it comes to understanding some of the other newfangled elements, right? We've got, Facebook and some of the other things that are in play here, social media and automated webinars. And so you blend these two concepts, and boom, here we are. And here's what's really going on. So we have this tremendous wealth of experience, real world hands-on experience on the team, right? And then the next thing we know is that there is a void in the marketplace right now, especially, and I will say this, okay? It's like bookends, okay? The baby boomers are like, what are we going to do? We still have 40, 50, 60 years to live. We're healthy, but we can't get a job. And we come back from the American dream. We come back from the day when you if you apply yourself, you make good money, and you were able to accomplish things and have a home and have retirement, and you would really, really have a nice life if you would just apply the effort. Well, it's very difficult nowadays, especially for that baby boomer crowd, because I don't know, it's kind of like the world is moving so quickly. And you could have a degree, maybe you even have like a master's degree, but it's antiquated. It's no longer relevant. So what are we going to do? We have to get involved in this new world economy. And then you have the millennials, and they're wise enough to know that the world is totally different. And if they're going to make something happen, there's no jobs really. Even programmers are only making 30, 40 grand a year. There are no jobs. Are there? Really? Can you go out there? Right? You think you're going to go and you're going to pack boxes during the holidays for Amazon.com and make six figures a year? Where are the jobs? Where are they? So there's a huge void, right? People are looking for something. And then there's this place called the internet, right? It's elusive. It's mysterious. It's so big. Everyone in the world is on the internet. I just saw that kid, what's his name, Zuckerberg? He was in India just this week, opening up another 100 million opportunities for people to get online. We online can connect with the whole world. So it's pretty obvious there's a fortune to be made on the internet. But how the hell do you do it? It's so big, it's so vast, it's moving so quickly. How do you do it? And then, if you find something that looks like it might be good, who is going to teach you? Who is the guy, the man or the woman or the technology on the other side of the keyboard? Who is it? Who's driving these programs? We hear it every single day here on Radio Leverage. Not a day goes by that somebody doesn't come out here and say, I have spent years chasing the elusive internet dream. I have spent years and thousands of dollars attempting to make money on the internet. And I've been here in traffic authority for a week or two, and I made $10. I made $40. I made $35. And people are like, Yahoo, because it's for real. Because here at Traffic Authority, we do have people on the front who will teach you. We're here every single day. Is there another company that comes out with this level of transparency every single day? I know the companies have a fresh start call, a quick start call. I listen to them. Pump up your day, get started with your leaders. It's usually 20 minutes or 30 minutes of people just selling stuff and beating the drum and buy the ticket and get. But here we actually spend 2-3 hours just having conversations. Real people having real results. We have real tools here. Okay, so if you're the uninitiated, if you're brand spanking new, you're wondering, okay, what is this? This is a real business, okay? Let's get this right out on the table right now. This is networking for grown-ups, okay? Yeah, you can get started here for $20. $20, and you can become a reseller, and you have available to you a suite of tools that it's taken a decade to build and millions of dollars in R&D, and still being updated every single day, $20. But I'm here to share with you a bold, bitter truth. Honestly, you may be that extraordinary, 1%. Maybe you are. Maybe you can come here with an investment of $20 and you've got nothing else but time on your hands. You can build an empire starting with a $20 commitment. And then the real level here is it's really a $47 program, though, okay? At $47, you have the reseller piece, the reseller agreement, and then you have a suite of tools called Traffic Optimizer. Now, these tools are pretty heady stuff. For me, okay, I looked at, I'm like at a split rotator, really? A splitter, a rotator, a drop-in timer, a site monitor. I'm like, really? What the hell is this? It's like asking me to fly a jet. I'm like, what am I going to do with I have no idea what a split tester is. Are you serious? A timer? What? What is that? Because some of these tools are for people who have a little more experience in this internet realm. So the next most important part for those of you who are serious is getting the Traffic Academy, because that's where you will learn how to use this stuff. And now you're talking $144. That's it. There's a couple add-ons. If you're really serious, we've got a premium upgrade. It's another $50 a month if you want to do that, But so let's just call it $200 a month. $200 a month. That's it. $50 a week. And you have got a fully functional operational business that has right now, I think there are, I don't know, how many capture pages, you guys, that we have back there when you become a reseller. You've got all of these things working for you. You've got all of the training. You've got the Traffic Optimizer. Then you have the traffic. You want to begin building a list. You want to be able to monetize a list. You want to be able to communicate with the world. Then in order for that to happen, you've got to have people looking at your stuff. You've got to have traffic. You've got to have eyeballs looking at your website. And that is a huge, huge business. You know that Google is really a traffic company. Here's the best kept secret about Facebook. Somebody said to me, a guy who's really proficient at Facebook, he said, man, Facebook is the biggest scam in the world. I'm like, what do you mean Facebook is the biggest scam? He said, you really think it's about connecting with your friends and your family? Do you really think it's about looking at your granddaughter's wedding dress? Do you think that Facebook is really about sharing pictures of angry cats and animals? He said that they make you think that that's what it is. But every single time that you click a mouse, every single time you like something on Facebook, every single time you post something on Facebook, all of your activity is tracked, it is sorted, and it is sold to the highest bidder. That is traffic. They're in the traffic business, man. Did you ever notice when you look at your Facebook page, on the right side there's advertisements, there's things for sale there? You know that those things that are for sale there are targeted at you because of the action that you've taken. And companies pay big. How do you think how could Facebook be a $1 billion company? How could that kid who invented Facebook be one of the wealthiest people in the world if Facebook is free? Have you ever considered that, baby boomers? Have you ever considered that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, that's where the money is being made in Facebook, and that's traffic. Everyone wants it, everyone needs it, and that is our primary product, is traffic. So if you're really serious about building a business, about establishing yourself, if you've only got $20, you may be better. It might be better if you bought a lottery ticket. Honestly, what you're going to get here every single morning is brutal honesty. You see, this is for grown-ups. The Traffic Authority is really for grown-ups, right? I mean, it's a $200 per month investment if you want to go all in. That's $50 a week. Okay, that's it. That's $50. What have you spent in the last week? How much money have you actually pissed away? How much money have you just flushed, right? Like, did I really need that giant cheeseburger that I spent $18 for at a nice restaurant? Right? Does my daughter really need a $140, Halloween costume that she's only going to wear once? Now, I will say that was a wise investment, because the last thing you want is a 16-year-old female angry with you, and you fathers know what I'm talking about. But the goal here is not really to cut down and cut expenses and really criticize people for the way they're spending money. The real objective here is to start making enough money that you can buy whatever you want whenever you want. So how do you get from where you are right now financially? How do you get from where you are to where you want to be? You know, the American dream is a $138,000 a year exercise. That's according to USA Today. If you want to live the American dream or the English dream, the United Kingdom dream, if you want to live the French dream, if you want to live in society in the year 2015, it's going to cost you about $10,000, give or take, every single month. That's it. That's what it costs. So the goal here at the Traffic Authority is to assist you in getting to $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 a month. It's really nice when you make $25,000 a month. It really is. So that's what this is. This is networking for grown-ups. We have got an opportunity here, each and every one of us, to come here and with a humble investment. Did you go to college? How much money did you spend on college? Did you go to school? Maybe a trade school. You know, Joe the plumber. How much money did you spend going to become Joe the plumber out there in California? I mean, I want you to consider that the Traffic Authority is really about education. And some people are quick studies, right? I was looking this morning. I want to say thank you very much, Sabrina. She shot us a video and sent it over, and she was yesterday came out on the radio show and said, "Hey, I've been here for 14 days. In 14 days, I got 100 leads. I've made 3 sales, and I won some Bose headphones in the Halloween contest. We're giving away $20,000 worth of cash and prizes, by the way." So there it is. Just a quick snapshot for those of you guys who are looking at this for the very first time. This is serious. This is where you're going to learn a skill. And you can move at your own pace. We've got plenty of stuff. Okay, we're here every single day to assist you, to answer questions. We got a Facebook page. I think we're right at the 20,000 barrier. Over the weekend, we'll break through 20,000 members of the VIP group. Right now, one of the things I want us going to talk about this morning is this website, MLMrankings.com, has us listed as the fastest growing, more views percentage-wise, #1 in the world. Since the last time they checked their stats, their statistics, they look at rankings, we've increased 799%. We're #1 in the world. #2 in the world increased 70%. Okay, so we're like 720%. I mean, it's just like ridiculous. There's something called Alexa rankings. And Alexa ranks, they look at all the websites, man. They monitor website internet traffic. Could you imagine how many websites there are out there in the world? How many? Think about it, right? Well, the Direct Selling Association, if you want to talk about our real opportunity here, the Direct Selling Association is on the record. They have stated there are 18 million people in North America alone, something like 100 million around the world, individuals who are online on the internet in a home-based business. Of all of those millions of websites, did you know that Alexa has the Traffic Authority ranked as number 12,000? I'm talking this is big. This is some serious action. Some serious stuff is taking place here. And you can be a part of it, and you can go to school here. And if you give it the time and you give it the commitment, well, where are you going to be in a year anyway? Are you just going to lock in here to your Traffic Authority business? Are you going to commit to that $200 a month? Are you going to commit? Because where are you going to be in a year? If you hopscotch around, and because this is a very, very big marketplace, especially in the business opportunity sector, in the internet marketing sector, in the traffics. It is big. And to be considered the #1 company on a percentage basis in the entire world is even bigger. And to be number 12,000 on Alexa is like, seriously? I mean, that's so far up the chain, it's amazing. So where are you going to be in a year anyway? Why not just lock in, make the commitment, do the thing, as we say, and have the result? It's been a great week. Okay, quickly, I'm going to just a couple more minutes, and then we're going to open it up. I see there are dozens of you guys who have pressed 1 on the keypad of your phone. Right now, you guys are listening to The Traffic Report, the internet radio home of The Traffic Authority. My name is Joe. Let me just recap for you, and thank you for letting me go for the last 20 minutes or so, because I really want to impress upon those of you who might be listening for the very first time. I want to impress upon you what you really have your hands on here. This is big. This is transparent. We are out here on the front, and we have people here. We have people here who make $100,000 in a month, but the really cool thing about those people who are making $100,000 in a month is they are here with us, sharing their enthusiasm, sharing their experiences, answering questions. Like on the webinar last night, that was me, the guy with the headband, and my co-host was Vincent Ortega Jr., the Kansas City Royals fan. He showed some video the other day. He's in some, $5,000 seats at the World Series game with his kids and his family. That guy's out there, right? He's out there. And then you can go on our Facebook page and take a look. Not only do you have the benefit of a Vincent Ortega Jr., but you have the pure joy and enthusiasm of Ree Sutton, for example, or Sabrina yesterday, all right? Or the Mountain Man coming out here every single day. This is way cool. In the last week, we had a cool webinar on Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, we did a reseller training, and we walked through some very basic rudimentary stuff. And the reason we do that is because there are so many people, hundreds every single day, hundreds a day are joining us. So, we always have to go back to the basics so we can make sure that everyone getting started has the benefit of the best. And this week we had 3 of our traffic control board, which are people who really, they give of themselves relentlessly. They always say yes. Traffic control board members, we're expanding that group. This week we heard from Gary on the traffic control board. He's an email guy. It was so interesting because he shared his story. He talked about in the year 2008, he was a 6-figure earner and just was not enjoying life. It was like no fun. So he decided to make a change and get involved in this direct selling, email marketing, getting out there on the internet. And he shares it. It took some time, right? Here it is 7 years later, and he's on the traffic control board. And I ask you the question. I asked him the question, I think, on the webinar. Is it true that an old dog can learn a new trick? Because here's a guy who is right now making a name for himself. He's done very, very well. And he was sharing with us a brand new thing that he learned as a result of the Traffic Academy experience he has. Then we heard from another guy, Diamond Dave. He was one of our trainers this week. The guy's a paramedic. He's from Tinley Park, Illinois. A paramedic, a first responder, right? He's carrying sick and dying people out of apartment buildings and showing up on the highway when there's some kind of violent accident. That's this guy. A lot going on. He's a father, a grandfather. He comes out and he just talks about making a little short video. The benefit of connecting with when you're building your list and you really want to do this, this is really something that you can see yourself doing. He comes out and talks a little bit about a bridge video. If you don't know what a bridge video is, go check out the webinar. It's still there for you to watch. But the cool thing is yesterday, Ree Sutton comes out and says, hey, I said, okay, so I saw the bridge video, and I saw what Dave said, so I said, forget about it. I'm just going to do it. And she said, I'm new at this, and I'm frail, and I don't have much confidence, and I'm freaking out. But I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So she went out and shot just a little bridge video, a couple of minutes of her telling her story. And that little bridge video is now parked in one of these high-tech, super-duper sales funnels that is worth $100,000 in the old. So now there's Ree Sutton's personal story in the front of this monster machine that she has available to her as a member, as a reseller. And she came out on the radio yesterday and talked about her results. She was blown away. That one little technique, that one little thing, the experience she had in 12 hours. It took her 12 hours to say, hey, this is really working because the increase in responses and people connecting with her. Then we heard from Kara Kokel. She's another one of our traffic control board members. We heard from Kara on the Tuesday night webinar talking about time management and talking about utilizing things like Facebook invites and Facebook posts and how this simple thing and using like Twitter, how this can really accelerate and automate her business and her results. We learned on Wednesday it was actually brought to the table by Rebecca, who I saw that Rebecca right now is number 1 again on the leaderboard. She's already won a computer 2 weeks ago, a MacBook, last week actually. And there she is, number 1. She calls in a couple times a week, and she calls in from Stonehenge. You know what Stonehenge is? It's one of the wonders of the world in England. And she called in and she pointed out the fact that we were now ranked number 1 by MLMrankings.com, trending up-and-coming companies, number 1. So that's what we learned on Tuesday. Yesterday, again, we heard from Sabrina. She came out, and it was amazing. Okay, we've heard from all kinds of people, the Mountain Man and Frank, and we heard from Jennifer and Carlos and Gilbert and Gene. We hear from all these people all the time. Celeste. We have this cast of characters that shows up here because they're just uncontrollable. They're uncontrollable with their enthusiasm. Samantha, you guys know who you are. But I also want to give a shout out because this radio show gets a ton of listens, hundreds every single day. And I know that there are many of you listening right now who may be in a cubicle at a job and you can't really call in and chime in. Or maybe you're listening right now to a recording of this because you live in, I don't know, Australia, New Zealand. You live somewhere in the world, Germany, where there's a difference in the time, the Netherlands. We have representatives. We're up to 27 countries have people representing the Traffic Authority. So I want to give a shout out to all of you guys who are listening right now because I know you're there, because I see the results. I see the traffic. We know that you're there. And just the very fact that you are here makes all the difference in the world to those of us who have the opportunity and for some the courage to press 1. Also this week we learned a couple other things. Here's one of the things we discussed and we learned this week. We learned that there are only 24 hours in the day. Okay, every single one of us. This is the one thing. Every one of us is a unique, a spiritual being, having a worldly experience, and every single one of us is unique. There's no two thumbprints, DNA. We are all unique individuals. But all of us have one thing in common, and that is this: 24 hours in a day. That's what we all have in common. So people, if you're listening to me, I said, but I don't have enough time. Traffic, but I really don't have enough time. I say Boulder Dash. You have enough time. If you just have to use the time that you have a little bit differently. Because you have the same amount of time as someone who's like, I was talking about Ronda Rousey, the MMA fighter, the female, the world champion in the octagon ring, that fighter, that young woman. She's the world champion. She's won a gold medal. I saw her the other day talking about the fact that she's now going to get into the boxing ring because she wants to fight. She's a fighter. And then she's going to get into the wrestling thing. She's going to be a wrestler. With the WWE, she's going to be a diva. And then she's going to make a movie. She starts filming a movie with Mark Wahlberg very, very soon. She's got all this stuff going on. And she actually said, I'm going to accomplish all of this stuff, and the only way I'm going to do it is just use my time a little bit better throughout the day. Here's the stats, right? In a week, there are 168 hours. That's all. And if you sleep 8 hours a night, you're sleeping 56 hours a week. You're spending 35 hours a week eating, showering, traveling, give or take, right? And then if you're working a job, you're spending 40 hours a week. Okay, if you're working a traditional job. That leaves you 37 hours. That leaves you 37 hours. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There's plenty of time in there to pursue your dream. A traffic authority full-on effort, full-on, a couple hours a day. That's it. That's all it takes. And if you're really, really serious, you got that 40-hour hunk there, 40 hours a week, that could be your traffic authority business. That could be your online presence. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. It's just how are you using your time? And then the last thing, and then we're going to open it up here in a minute. The last thing I want to point out here, and one of the benefits of the traffic authority is that you learn about communicating with your list and communicating with people, especially in this internet age. One of the things that you get here when you become a member, if you're full-on serious about it, is autoresponders. Autoresponders is a system that actually will continue to communicate with a person. So if somebody opts in to your page, and we won't get into the details, but just pay attention here. If someone opts in to your sales funnel and say, yes, I want more information, they go into something that's called an autoresponder system that will continue to email that individual with suggestive language and calls to action and reminders of stuff that's happening. It's working for you while you're doing whatever it is that you want to do. That's a very cool thing. And then what you'll learn here as part of the academy is how do you really take that concept to the next level, to build and begin communicating with people about what your passion is and what it is that you want to bring to the table. And here's something that is true. You wonder why some guys are making $100,000 here, and there's other people who just are kicking the can or already want their $20 or their $47 back because they didn't make a sale in their first day? Dig this. Here's some statistics. 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. That's almost half of us. 48% of salespeople never follow up with the prospect. 25% of the 52%, right? Because of this stat, 48, forget about it. they're too busy. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and stop. 12% of salespeople will make 3 contacts and they will stop. Only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. And whether you want to believe it or not, you're in sales. Okay, you don't have to believe it, but you are. Just trust. Now dig this. Here's the other side of that coin. 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 2%, the first contact. They'll bite, and that's generous. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. And 80% of all sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. You know what I got to say about that? Boom. Shakalaka. You wonder why so few people are making so much money in the sales game? Because they're actually doing the thing. Do the thing. That's one of our mottos here in the Traffic Authority. All right. Right now what I'm doing is getting on a ladder and climbing down off my high horse. We're going to open up this thing right now and see who we have on the line that wants to share their story, share their enthusiasm. Here's the drill. I'm going to say the last 4 digits of your telephone number. That's it, the last 4 digits of your phone number. And then you're going to come out and you're going to give me your first name, the city, the state, or the country that you're calling in from, whichever you prefer, and then just let her rip. Just let her rip. If you like what you hear, let's hear it. If you can't stand me, if you say, Joe, you're way too much frosting on the cupcake, shut up, I can take it. I'm a big boy. If you have a question, about maybe, your billing, or you have a question about your autoresponders, we do have a support desk, support@trafficauthority.net. We're hearing now people are getting 12 hours. They send in a support ticket at night, they get up in the morning, and boom, it's handled. We even have reports of people receiving phone calls if there's a little bit of confusion about what's going on with the support ticket. Now, maybe your support ticket got clogged up somewhere. Okay, that's fine. If you do really have a question this morning, all right, we'll get to it. But in the meantime, last thing I'll say is please pay attention, because sometimes there are people who sit here for like a half hour. They're waiting. Right now, 5232, you've been here for 52 minutes. So pay attention, because you only get one shot you only get one crack here. Good morning, 5232. You're first up.
Good morning, Joe. This is Holly Phelps calling from Los Angeles, California. How is everyone this morning?
Well, so far I can only speak for me, Holly, and I'll let you speak for you. How are you this morning?
I am well, thank you. I just wanted to ask if you would do me a huge favor and just follow up on the issue that I mentioned, not the billing issue per se that's supposed to happen on November 6th, but just the email issue. I've yet to receive a response from support, so I know they're really busy, but they're handling everything in a timely fashion. So I just wanted to gently remind you, if you could please, touch them to let them know that I'm just waiting on a response. I'd appreciate it, because I don't think I should actually change my email at this point.
Okay, fine. Holly Folks at Yahoo. While I'm going to multitask this morning, and I'm going to personally make sure that Holly Folks at yahoo.com is in the email database. I will guarantee.
Wonderful.
Wait. I will guarantee you that it is in the database. Now, when we send email, and if you don't receive the email, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do, because it's happening. Something's happening out there with the filters. There's something happening. Like if I'm sending you an email, and in that email the word money is in the email, Yahoo will never allow that email to get to you. They won't.
Well,
Okay, but listen, Holly, I got it. I got it. Thank you very much.
Right.
I'm going to personally make sure that
Yes.
your email address is in there, okay?
Thank you. No, I appreciate that because I was getting them and then all of a sudden not getting them. They're not even in spam.
I can't help you, my sister. All I can do is make sure that it's in the database.
Wonderful. I appreciate it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Holly. Thanks for calling in this morning, and thank you for your patience. That's Holly checking in from L.A. We'll keep it moving. 8171, you're next up in the queue. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Happy Friday.
Hey, Beverly, how are you?
I am doing really well. I'm just thankful for that I have, really good health for my age. That's something to be very thankful for. And so I just wanted to give you a quote from that Ronald Reagan had written. We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
I love that.
I think that's cool. I really love inspirational quotes, yes.
And thank you very much, Beverly. Thank you for jumping up.
I just wanted to let you know I was here and that I'm very thankful for the community we have.
And Beverly, you're 80 years young, correct?
80, yes, I am.
I love it, Beverly. Thank you very much for chiming in here this morning, okay? And thank you for the quote.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
You have a great week.
I will. There's Beverly checking in from Medford, Oregon. Okay, Holly, I know that you're still listening, okay? Holly, this is what just came in from support. It says, have Holly check the whitelist instructions there's whitelist instructions. It's at traffic authority.net/legal/whitelist.php. And what I'm going to do, Holly, is send you a personal email with those instructions in there, okay? And then I think our work is done as far as what we can possibly do. 0618, you're next up in the queue.
Hey, everybody, this is Gilbert James in New York City. How's everything going?
Gilbert, I'm having a great day this morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. You know what? I did a video and I posted on the Traffic Authority Facebook page last night, and guess what? I was doing a video eating a hot dog with ketchup on it.
There it is.
People in New York City, guys and gals, we eat hot dogs with ketchup on it. we don't have no problem with that. And at the same time, I was looking in my back office, and I saw on my screen, ka-ching, yes, I've got cash that I've earned through Traffic Authority. Traffic Authority is really a winner, and I just want to say to people, we have the greatest, the latest, the most powerful and profound system on earth. There's no way in the world, unless the person had no brain whatsoever, that a person could follow the steps and the videos and not be successful and earn the income they're looking for. There's no way. So I just want to thank you, Joe, for keeping it moving, and for all the people in the background, the champions, the founders, all our Ninja Tribesmen and women, Big Earl, everybody, Carlos, everybody, Cara, everybody, for really getting on the line every day and helping everybody wake up to their own inner ability to be what they want to be, do what they want to do, and have the good that they want to have. So I just want to say, keep on keeping on. And I made a commitment yesterday to go that extra mile, to really do that more intensive focus. And what I've done, I started sending more emails out to my list. I got like 20, 30, 40 people, 50 people on my lead list that I get from Traffic Authority. So I'm just saying, the system will work for you if you work the system. So joy be with you, and I'll see every one of you, and I want to shake all of your hands, especially yours, Joe, when we meet at the event. Thanks again.
Let me tell you something, Gilbert. I'm happy to shake your hand, but I'm a hugger, dude. I'm one of those guys who hugs. You know, I'm a hugger. So you're gonna get a big hug from me, Mr. James.
That's cool. Hugs are cool.
Gilbert
thanks
James,
again, and ciao.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Gilbert James checking in from NYC. And you know what? One of the things here's a trick, right? Here's something I'll tell you guys. This little thing we're talking about here, the MLM deal, okay? The MLM results website. If I was you, I would include that in an email to my group. As a matter of fact, if you look, you guys should have received, with the exception of you, Holly. I know that you're not receiving email, but you guys know that we sent out an email this morning. It came out at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and included in that email, the very top piece, it talked about the fact that we are ranked number 1 by this website. Did you ever think that maybe you just shoot an email out to your list and say, oh, by the way, like in the subject line, you're number 1, open now. And then they open. It's like, did you know that the company that we're talking about here is currently ranked number 1 in the world by this website? And put the link in there. There's something to do. There's something that you can do. All right. 0033. I can hear you rustling around there. You're next up in the queue.
Hi, Joe. This is Mary from Maryland. How's everybody doing today?
Mary in Maryland. We're doing great. How are you today?
I'm great. I just wanted to say, I usually listen to this blog every day, and I heard yesterday about somebody having problems with the webinar prospecting, and I found out last night for the last 2 weeks, because I talked to somebody else, the Traffic Authority, topsecret.net, Traffic Authority for the secret meeting, the link does not work. The link does not work for prospecting. You cannot hear the webinar. And what I heard last night was motivation speech, and that was it. You cannot get the webinar on the link that you're promoting that you send out on Wednesday to Thursday. It's not working at all.
Okay, well,
so that's
this is
a lot of.
All right, thank you very much, Mary. And I am sorry that you are telling me that, because, we have tens of thousands of people who are attending those webinars, and you're the only person who has told me that you can't get it. Okay.
Okay, because I had talked to one of my downline too, and they said it's happened for 2 weeks now for them too. So I don't know. It's like he told me to go to Google, and I could see it there, but I could not see it from the link that you sent on Wednesday for Thursday promotion.
All right. Let me ask you this. Did you put your username in there?
I did, and I sent out 4,500 of them, and I got quite a reply back that they couldn't see it. Secretmeeting.net, topsecretmeeting.net, and your username. And that link is not working. I don't know if it has to do with my get response count, but I remember another woman complaining that she didn't get any prospects. So I was.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. As we're speaking, Mary, right now, I just opened up a Safari browser, and I put in there topsecretmeeting.net /Joe. That's my username, and it's taking me to the webinar, and there I am. There is my gigantic face with a headband, and so for me, it's working. It's working right now, as you and I are speaking.
Okay, because I've gotten a few emails back from people that I've sent it to and said they can't click on the link, and this is what what were you saying to me? So I don't know if it's get response then, or because it's all mumble jumbled and you couldn't even the link was there, but they click it and it didn't work. So I don't know if it's get response or what, or if anybody else is having the same problem.
All right. Well, right now, I am right now looking at this with my own 2 eyes. I'm looking at top, and there I am. Oh, yes, we are. There I am. Whoa! I'm looking at myself right now. My father was right. My father was right when he told me I had a giant Polish nose. My father was right, because there I am, and it might be a URL, something unique to you. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm going to put a support ticket in, Mary in Maryland, to make sure that as a matter of fact, Mary, what is your full name?
Mary Frost, F-R-O-S-T.
Frost, F-R-O-S-T.
Right, and it's my handle is like Frost Pro. My last name was Pro after it.
Okay, on your behalf, I'm going to send a ticket in, because, again, we're not really hearing this. Usually if there's a systemic issue, like the one that you're sharing right now, If everyone in the world is experiencing that, usually we are overwhelmed with support tickets and phone calls, and Facebook explodes. And as a matter of fact, last night someone was calling me out. Last night, after the webinar was over, somebody said, "Hey, man, was that recorded?" And somebody else said, "Yeah, I guess they haven't put a new." So there was an exchange of discussion on the webinar last night from people who saw the webinar last night, right? And I'm watching it right now. So, Mary, thank you very much for bringing it to our attention, and we'll do our best to do some research on this end, okay?
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Mary from Maryland, Mary Frost checking in. Thank you very much, Mary. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. And ladies and gentlemen, you know, the webinar that we played last night is unbelievably cool. And I know that those of you who are going like, "Oh, hey, man, you know, I thought it was going to be a live webinar." Well, your prospect, if you sent somebody to the webinar last night, they only see it for the first time. And the reason we play it is because it was so well done. It's so effective. You know, most of those webinars that you see are unscripted, and we just tell the story. And sometimes, you know, all cylinders are hitting, and sometimes there's some misses. And that one last night that you played last night is cool. It's very effective. People are making sales with it around the world every single time they share it, whether they share it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's having results. That being said, there's going to be a new co-host, somebody that you guys have heard. I'm not going to release his name right now, but that's coming next week. 2959, you're next up in the queue. Good morning.
Carlos Rodriguez, New York City.
Good morning, Carlos. How are you today?
Oh, man, I'm just super excited. All I have to say to you is take them to church. Take them to church. Man, I'm so pumped up over here, man. You got me. I was not going to press one today because all the noise and stuff like that, but I said, heck, forget about it. I don't care. I'm just pumped up myself. And for everybody listening, the weekends is so important to get your business going and to leave your traffic on no limit so you can see the potentials of sales or your team members' sales. I know Kara said that, and I also follow her on that. Weekends is so important. Everybody gets paid on the weekend, most of us or whatever. So it's essential to just boost your business, make sure everything is in line, so like that you can see results. Most of all of my results have been on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I touch base with them, whether with a call or a personal email. And yes, that email, exactly how you said it, I received it this morning. I put, "We are number one," and I sent that out to over 2,000 and something people. I forgot the number of leads I have now because I've been working my ass off. But, yeah, I'm super excited. Shout out to the New York City team, and shout out to the Traffic Authority team. And, yes, I'm a hugger too, Joe. So when I see you, no handshakes, hugs, and for everybody else, I'm not doing handshakes. You got to give me a hug. All right?
There it is. And, hey, Carlos, thank you very much for jumping out here, man. Yeah, the weekends, you know, Kara always says that Friday is low-hanging fruit. On Friday, she has a very great response to people. So, yeah, and the other thing is, how many emails did you say that you sent? How many?
I lost track, but I have over 2,500, almost 3,000 people, man.
All right, so that's awesome. And one click, right? You write one letter, one click. You don't have to send, yes. Isn't that cool?
It's amazing. It's amazing, and still learning, always learning. And I'm gonna tell everybody right now, whether I'm just making a couple of $100 or whether I'm making $10,000, which I know I'm gonna get to soon, I will still continue to be on this radio show as long as it's here, and I'm always show my face and always help everybody. Like, again, I have to call somebody that is in the New York area. Again, not on my personal team, but Traffic Authority is my team, and I'm going to help her out and try to get started. And whoever's her sponsor that has never reached out to her, sorry to hear that, but we some working people over here. Traffic Authority, the Ninjas, we help everybody out. Shout out to Diamond Dave, Gilbert James, Mark Goldenberg, all those guys, everybody, and everybody that shows love to Carly Rose. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Take care. Let's make this money.
Let's do it. Thank you very much, Carlos. Thank you very much. And Mary in Maryland, this just in from Carolina Salick and Yakshkimash, Carolina. Carolina sent in, she said, make sure that in your when you're sending out that domain, when you're sending out that email, there is no www. No www. It's not there. Just HTTP. If you use www, it's not there. And we'll have to take a look at this on our side to make sure that maybe we can correct that. But that could be the problem right there. Carolina, thank you very much for checking in. Yakskimash. That's Polish for how are you. For those of you who listen, we had that discussion not long ago. Let's keep it moving. Thank you very much again, Carlos in NYC. Let's keep it moving to 2403. You're next up. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Jovita. I called in yesterday, a newbie of being here for the 11 days now, and I have 4 leads as of last night. So I'm very, very excited. So we're ranked number 1. I want to be a part of number 1 team in the world. So I'm with Rebecca's and Sabrina's and Kim's team. So we are all, I just want to call in and make some noise here, and also shout out to everybody who's on this call. And as I, promised, I will be calling in every day. And you actually caught me while I was doing my squats here, while I was, waiting on to be online. But when you talk about making your 24 hours, value to you, I have a 9-to-5 job myself, and doing this part time, and I have learned my lesson. I use my time wisely. My husband travels as well. I have 2 kids, and I'm doing this, and I have 2 other online businesses and 2 MLMs outside of that, and also try to get my workout done, within the 24 hours. So, when you mentioned that, it's like, we have 24 hours, each and every one of us, that we need to capitalize on and monetize on. So, so I just wanted to shout out to everybody, and I'll give you a virtual hug as well. I'm a hugger as well, like you.
Thank you very much, Levita.
All right. You guys have a great day and kick some butt today.
Absolutely, and thank you very much for making the time to come out here. Levita just said she's got a 40-hour gig, and I'm reminded of a couple of weeks ago. Please forgive me. There was a woman who came from New York City, and she talked about being on the subway and what it takes to go to work in NYC. And then she said, what I do to make sure my business rolls is I just get up an hour earlier, just to give me a little bit more time. It was a great thing, right? Just get up a little earlier. There's an extra hour right there. 6673, you're next up. Good morning.
Good morning. It's Kim from Niagara Falls, Canada. How are you?
Kim, I love Niagara Falls. I'm doing fine, and I was there years ago, and that I actually went on that boat ride that's in the mist, Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Awesome. Were you there when the guy last year? A guy walked across?
Was I there? Yes, but you know what? I watched it on TV because it was foggy and rainy that day. There's 100,000 people down there. I probably had a better view.
That guy actually, this last year, he walked across 2 of the tallest buildings in Chicago, going uphill without a net, that guy, Willenda. Kim, how are you? You've never called in before today, I don't think. How are you today?
I was on the queue yesterday, and my Skype crashed on me, so I was very disappointed. And most of the time I have client meetings at this time. So talking about time management, I'm a business coach. I have a business that I also do other business as well. So I get up at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Sometimes if I can't sleep in the middle of the night, I pull out my computer and I'm just working this thing. So I came in just before pre-launch, and I've built a list of almost 150 people from zero. I've been working for years trying to find something. I have purchased different systems, different programs that had bits and pieces of what Traffic Authority has, and trying to make them work together unsuccessfully. And I'm a smart person. So I just wanted to say, if the beauty of this system is I talk to hundreds of people all the time because of what I do. And the beauty of this system is it's from beginner, if you don't have a lot of technology experience, right from beginner to the most advanced. And I think, and what is here that I've never seen anywhere else is the leaders sharing every secret, because there's always been a missing piece, a critical link that isn't there. So I am really enthusiastic about the program. I'm touching base with I've made some personal emails. I promote the webinars. I'm learning like everybody else. I had to learn how to use GetResponse. I had to learn how to the traffic authority system, and it's some work in paying attention. Pay attention to what the leaders are telling you because they know what they're doing, and that's the beauty of it. I've also made 2 sales, and guess what? In the Halloween prize, I'm eligible for. I'm in the grouping. I have over 300 points, so I could potentially win the headphones.
Yes. Yes, you could. You could.
And that's just doing stuff. That's just doing what you guys have us set up to do every single day. I fit it in when I'm sitting and having a tea, when I'm up in the morning and, watching the news, and that's what I do. That's when I do it.
It is amazing that it actually will work, right? When you just do it and you stay consistent with it, it does work.
Absolutely, it does work. And by the way, on that issue with the email, so her links weren't working. Mm-hmm. She may not have set the hyperlinks up in GetResponse because I had to get, and GetResponse is top notch as far as their support goes. Tell them to go on a chat. Well, if she's listening, she'll hear this. Go on a chat with them, and she probably has to hyperlink it in GetResponse for it to work in her email. So that may be an issue. But you guys are hooked up with the best of support. Yes, I've had to put some support tickets in early on, and it took a little bit of time. But you know what? I also went into FAQs, and some of that stuff I was able to fix, and some of it I couldn't, and I just had to wait. But now the wait is not nearly as long, and honestly, any support system that I've ever used in technology, you've had to wait. Rarely do you get, right back to you that day, and you guys are doing your absolute best. You have this resource. You have all kinds of resources. So to me, it's a business, and you work it like a business, and you'll have a success. If you think it's just sitting there and it's just going to happen, it's not going to work for you.
It isn't. And Kim, thank you very much. Kim calling in from Niagara Falls. I really appreciate the time that you took to call in here and share today what's going on with you. And clearly you take it seriously. Clearly you treat it as a business. Clearly you see, because you are a business coach, that it takes some process, right? You get in here, you've got to get acquainted, you got to see if you even resonate with the culture, because it is a cultural thing. We're very transparent here, hugging, we have fun, and if you fit in, if that feels right for you, then you've got to adapt and start putting in play the principles. Microwave results are a misnomer. You really got to do the work.
Absolutely, and I have talked to I work internationally. I've probably worked with 1,000 businesses, and every single one of them, whether they're online or offline, guess what they need? Some sort of traffic.
They need people, right? They need eyeballs.
They need people. And just one last thing. Shout out to Rebecca. I'm on her team and working hard to get her up into the top 10 as a team. And shout out to her. She finally got into the top 10 in the draw. So she just rocks it. And let me tell you, she keeps us going. She gives us gems, and I have to acknowledge her.
And thank you, Kim. And she's number one. I saw this morning she's actually number one in those rankings. And see, you waited till the very end to tell me that you're working with Rebecca, and what a powerful woman you are, clearly. And Rebecca, and look at the group that she's bringing together here, right? Samantha, Sabrina, you're here. We heard Wendy yesterday. It's like, what a powerful group of individuals you are. And you see and you look at Rebecca, right? Rebecca is sophisticated, she's fun, she's light, she's loose, but she's very focused on business. And look who she brings to the table. You, Kim, you're fun, you're light, but you're focused. You're a business coach, a professional. There it is. Boom shakalaka. No wonder. No wonder. Thanks for coming out here, Kim.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Right, there's Kim checking in from Niagara Falls, man. You ever been in Niagara Falls? Going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. 5153. You're next up.
Oh, that's me.
Yes.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Who is it?
Hi, it's Cass. I'm in Staten Island, New York.
Cass?
Yeah.
Good morning, Staten Island, New York.
I called you once a couple of weeks ago from the bus. I have to listen to the call whenever I can because it's a weird time in the morning.
Was I just talking about you? Are you the woman who talked about just getting up a little bit earlier in the day so you can do the work and not have to? Oh.
No, that wasn't me.
That's okay.
But I tune in on my days off, and sometimes I have to listen to it on the recording because I start work at like 9 o'clock and I can't listen to the phone when I'm actually in my job. But I love this call. I learned so much little stuff on this call, and I just love this community completely because even though I don't have any traffic yet, I'm more than happy to pay because I'm learning so much stuff, and I'm in such a great community. Like, I know my money is a good investment every month. There's no a second yet where I've been like, why am I paying for this? Because I know it's worth it.
You know, that's interesting, Cass, that you said that. And thanks for taking the time here today because, you know, I subscribe to a couple things on the internet, you know, where every month they tag me for money. And a couple times I've said, you know, I don't really use that service. You know, I pay for a subscription to something related to yoga, right? I like yoga. I find peace there, right? And so I subscribe to some yoga rag on the internet, and it's not a lot of money. It's maybe $20 a month, and I haven't really used it, right? I'm all in on Traffic Authority. I'm going 16-hour days. It's like, oh, but I got to get back there and use that. But I say to myself, you know what? I want to support the effort of that community. You know, for all of you guys who are listening to this, you know, like every single one of us who's making a contribution every single month, it's much larger than what is it that you specifically are getting from this will be related to how much you're giving it, right? Whether or not you're building a list, whether or not you're understanding how to monetize the list, whether or not you're really understanding the cadence of sending emails, when you send them, storylines, one line, whether or not you are, you know, giving your time to learning those things, the monthly fees and the subscriptions is going to support this entire community. This is a big, I wish I could share with you the amount of revenue that it costs to maintain an international presence like this. It is a big number, and we work on very small margins. And it's not we. I don't own Traffic Authority. I'm not an owner, but there's very small margins. When you consider that on a $47 subscription, $47, Traffic Authority keeps $7. Okay, they keep $7 of the $47. And $40 is being. How do you want to operate? The only way that you can operate a business on $7 per person per month is if you've got a lot of people who are paying attention. I mean, when you look at how this thing scales, and Kat, thank you very much for that sharing with us that you love the community and what you get here, and we're always here, right? You got to go to work.
Yeah,
right?
all the time.
Never miss. We're never even late. We're never even late. You know.
Well, like I just want to say real quick, like the lady who was just on, I have been like finding little pieces in different places for the last 2.5 years, but it's never been cohesive. And that's the other thing is it's cohesive in one place. So I'm learning all this, how to connect it, which I never learned, which was probably one of my biggest stumbling blocks. So thank you.
You're welcome, Cass. Thanks for jumping out here, checking in from Staten Island. Staten Island. I've only been there once. Okay, this is number one across the board. This could be one of 2 or 3 people. Somebody calling in on Skype.
Hello from Stonehenge.
Uh-oh, there she is, Rebecca. How are you today?
I am doing very, very well today. How are you, sir?
I'm having a blast. I love this every single day, no matter what my mood is in the morning. By the time I get into this, by the time I'm 20, 30 minutes into this and I hear from people like Kim, one of your girls just checked in. We heard from Levita. Yeah, how about it? How you doing?
It's Jovita. Yeah, no, I mean, they're all amazing. They're calling in. They're stepping up. They're doing the stuff. They're just awesome. And we're currently ribbing kind of sort of winding up the men in our group, like, come on, guys, because it's always the women that are coming out and talking to everybody. We're like, come on, there are men here too. Seriously, get out. But yeah, I mean, just such an amazing group of people. I feel so blessed, and I have some good news for everybody. Again, I am bringing you good news. Okay, so this is another thing. Sorry, I pick up on stuff because I'm a journalist, so I kind of like. I'm like, I hear a thing, it could help people. So this is a good news, bad news thing. So if you've been hit by this, it's bad news. But if you're in this, it's good news because you can fix it, and it's good news for us because we can go out and really help loads of people. A big autoresponder company just went down, and people can't get their lists out. That means people are freaking out because they suddenly have no lists, and they need lists. And what do we sell people? Lists.
Traffic.
Basically, like the ability to create their own lists. We sell them traffic, and that's what they need. So just so you know, there are loads of people out there who just lost their lists, and we can help.
Yes, that's a shame. That is a shame. And like on a white horse, we're riding to the rescue, right? On a big white Clydesdale, we're showing up to the rescue.
I mean, totally. I mean, we can help them. Hopefully they'll get their list back. And, you know, I feel bad for them that they're in that situation, but it's just before Christmas. They need to get marketing. They can't just sit there and be in a state about losing their list. They've got to build lists, and you know, they need traffic, and we can help them with that. So just wanted to kind of make people aware that there's a whole bunch of people out there who are, through no fault of their own, in lead poverty right now, and we have what they need.
Well, thank you for bringing that to the table, and congratulations. I saw that you're moving up the rankings. Could you go any further up the rankings, or have you? I'm thinking. Were you number one this morning? Did I see that you were number one?
No, I think that might be an imaginary thing of yours. I think I'm 10. I'm on the front page. See,
there it is.
Okay, this is the thing. Up until yesterday, or kind of like this morning, I was taking it to 11, and it was like I was stuck at 11. So I went into my group and I said to my team, I was like, guys, it's good to take it to 11, but I already want to take it to 10 because I want to get a screenshot of that front page, because not just for me. I mean, yeah, it'd be awesome if I win something else. I mean, how great would that be? But for the team, and for everybody, it's nice to kind of have the screenshots and stuff like that. So I was like, let's really kind of pull together and see what we can do to get one of us onto the front page, whether it's me or whomever. It doesn't really make any difference. So yeah, some people went out there and they bought some traffic and they did some stuff, and bless them all for being amazing. But now I'm on the front page, so yay to them. They absolutely rule, and it's all about teamwork. I mean, everything's about teamwork in this. And like that thing about the autoresponder company closing, I could have kept that to myself. I didn't have to tell anyone that. I could just go, oh, there's the thing I know, and I can just go out there and exploit it. Or I could have just shared it with my team. But I came on here and I shared it with everybody because, you know, if anyone in this company does well, we all do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? And you're number 10, you're number one, okay, in our hearts, okay. I saw you in the top 10. I was like, oh, here she goes again, right? So in the top 10, it's a cool place to be. It really is a cool place to be. And you said a couple of things there, you know, about teamwork and about in our company, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. You know, Cass, who was just calling in from Staten Island, talking about, you know what, I subscribe here because there's so much value here in the consistency of messaging and the culture, and maybe I'm not really taking advantage of all the tools and the opportunities that are there, but just knowing that you're there and the support is there and that you're always working behind the scenes is like, it's so worth it to her. And it's so true. You know, when I was this morning, I was counting my blessings, and it was off the page. You know, I was going down the list, literally writing on a list, and your name is on that list, Rebecca. And so are all of us, seriously, because it is a community of people who really do care about each other's results and pulling together. Look at your team rallying around you. They're rallying around you. Now you're in the top 10 again, and I know that you're inspiring some of these dudes. Like this is like ladies' night every single day. It's like no man's land, right? Today it was Holly, and then it was Beverly, and then Gilbert jumped in, truly a man's man, and then Mary, and then Carlos. You know, Carlos is consistent, and then Larita, and then we had Kim, and then we had Cass, and now we've got Rebecca. It's like, and then you're inspiring some of these other dudes to get off their duff. I love it.
Yeah, well, I have to give a shout out because actually, ironically enough, the sale that pushed me onto that front page came from a dude. So cool, absolutely amazing. He is like being celebrated in my team group right now. Ben James Butler, you rule. We love you. He was just like, I could wait till tomorrow to do this, but no, I'm going to do it for the team. I'm going to buy traffic today. We're going to get someone onto that front page, and he did it. he took the step, he went beyond his comfort zone, he bought the traffic, and, that added just those few points that I needed to get onto that front page. So, it rocks. And I think if I could just say something for anybody out there who's looking to set up a team or whatever, if you think, well, I couldn't set up a team because I'm just not, I feel uncomfortable with that. First of all, know that you're already part of a team. Like, we're all here for you. So you don't have to do that. But if you do set up a team, plus you're part of a team anyway, you're part of your uplines team and theirs and so forth. But if you do decide to set up a team, get in your mind, first of all, before you say anything about it, before you set up a Facebook group, what is the key word of this team? What's the thing that I want to create loads of? What's the thing that I want to really expand in people's kind of psyches through this team? And for me, it was abundance, and it's shown up again and again and again. These guys are just so blessed, and they feel so abundant in so many ways, and they're so abundant of mindset, they can't help but help other people. It's just like, that quote. I don't know where exactly it comes from, but I've seen it on Facebook a few times. That, if you find yourself with more than you need, don't build a higher wall, build a longer table.
Mm-hmm. I love that, and I did see that on Facebook as well. I saw that. That is very cool. And here's something else. This idea of a team, and you are so good at this, and we can really learn from you about establishing a pace, right? You're the leader of the team. It begins with you, and then every single one of us has a team that begins with us, right? That's the beauty of this environment. But this ability to actually lead and demonstrate and rally people is such a cool thing, and you are passing that legacy on. You're passing that down. The people who are coming behind you and the people who are learning from you are learning from you. And what you are about is abundance and sharing and giving back and transparency and what can I do to assist you. You are coming from total abundance, lead abundance, money abundance, and that is what you're attracting, people who are about that. And that lives in the light. That is shining and growing. And I will say this extraordinary group of individuals, I'm talking to every single person in the Traffic Authority. It was every single one of us together that put us on that MLM rankings top spot, right? I mean, how do no matter how hard you work, Rebecca, no matter how hard I work, no matter how hard Doug works or Adam or Carl or Kim or Larita or Mary or Gilbert James, none of us were able to get this company to number one in the MLM ranking. Singly, we could never do it. But the totality of this group, we together as a community are capable of so much that we together, each and every one of us, if we posted one thing on Facebook, if you sent out one, you're part of the total, the sum that made that happen. And I'll tell you this, okay, as far as culture is concerned, the culture of our community, and a lot goes on behind the scenes, right? There's a lot that goes on, and there's tension, and there's stuff, and there's all, Doug came out last week and said, oh man, we've got some stuff going on with some hackers, and we've got all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But what this is about, the culture of our entire thing, starting with the highest level, the conversations that happen are how can we significantly, in a positive way, impact the experience of our people. How can we make a difference in the world? We heard Kim, and then we also heard Cass, or it was Cass. You're Kim, coming out here and saying, I've been in the industry for a long time, and I'm a business coach, and I've tried this program, and this program, and this program, and none of them individually could do anything, really. I had to try and figure it out and connect them, and here at Traffic Authority, we are working our hardest to be the complete package, right? Whether you're brand spanking new or you're a seasoned veteran, there's something here for you. That culture is defined by the leaders, and you're one of those leaders, Rebecca. And the reason that your team is growing so fast is because it's about your team. That's it, man. It's you mentioned Ben James Butler. He could have waited, but he decided to move to benefit the team because you're out here on the radio. Your team is listening to you. Your team is fearless. I can go down the list. Probably
what
half
a leader.
Yeah, you're the leader.
What a
man.
leader! What a leader for doing that, though. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, Ben James.
How cool he is to do that. He could have waited, and he didn't, and because it wasn't just about him. It was about, well, I'm going to make this decision anyway, but it's going to help everyone in the team if I make it today, so I'm making it today.
Absolutely. And every one of us can learn something from that. Listen, I know that you're calling in from Stonehenge, Rebecca. Thank you for calling in. Congratulations. I'll be watching the drawing on Sunday night. The drawing, it takes place after Halloween, is tomorrow here in North America. So the contest ends tomorrow. You guys still have time for points. Rebecca, thank you very much. I'm waiting to hear for you to come out and say, yeah, I got my computer. It arrived. I'm not sure when your computer...
I can't wait. I'm going to the door every day and going, iCAD has MacBook. Where is it?
Well, we'll make sure that you get it, okay? Thanks for jumping in here this morning.
My pleasure, and thanks for everything you do.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Rebecca checking in from the Stonehenge, man. You guys know Stonehenge is one of the wonders of the world. 9190 is next up in the queue. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Joe. This is Earl Teets, the mountain man from Troy, Montana, and wow, what a blessing it is, you know. Truth over hype. That's what we have here at Traffic Authority. Truth over hype. You know, I was once ignorant enough to fall for a guru. You know, he didn't even care enough about his downline to see if they were leading properly. And I took his word that we were the fastest growing company in the nation when I worked with that company, and I put on conference calls, and some of the people that I had spent years to develop that relationship with, I lost a lot of credibility with them, because when they did go look at the rankings and what was going on, that company wasn't even in the top 50. Even today, it's nowhere near there. So to see what we've accomplished, and to understand that there's truth, know that there's something that has your back. You listen to the people that we're talking today, like Carlos, Rebecca, Gilbert, Frank, Dave, Cass. I mean, this is just, and there's others I've left out. It's just amazing to see what's going on. Look at that Facebook group growth. Over 19,500 today, only a couple of months in the making. Ranked where we are MLM-wise, and what do we got that's unique, folks? We have daily actions to profits. We talk about Napoleon Hill's birthday this week. You know, he talks about an extreme importance. If you really want to help yourself succeed, stick your face in a book. It's called Master Key to Riches by Napoleon Hill. It's like Think and Grow Rich Part 2. It really embeds into your subconscious mind how important it is to have that mastermind. And what we have here at Traffic Authority is Monday through Friday, we have that mastermind group right here on this very radio show. And what's next? You know, you look at everything that we got. We do have everything. And what comes next, you must provide. You have to provide it yourself, and that's your why. It has to drive you to make something happen. And the best way I know how to teach about your why is to look at the history of the United States of America. And when we decided to become a free nation, we had to look at an issue that Tony Robbins talks about. You have to have so much pain at the thought of what if I fail that it will drive you to face impossible odds. So if you look at how America was formed, our troops were outnumbered 10,000 redcoats to 1 American. Our whole motto was victory or death. We wanted freedom, and we got it against all odds. Do you believe, do you have a why that's going to drive you through different obstacles? You heard all these people come on these calls. We're all facing different obstacles in the road. We're all working together to overcome these obstacles as a team, which means that together everyone achieves more. But you have to dig down and ask yourself, do you have that why that will drive you to understand that the majority of people fail? 97% have employee attitudes. And the reason a lot of good people fail in this industry is because they see a beautiful thing like Traffic Authority. And they get on the phone with the most successful employee that they know as a friend or family member, and they say, what do you think? And what does the employee think? Well, let's look at the stats. 97% of those things fail. Are you out of your mind? Why don't you stick to your real job? But when you look at reality, folks, and understand that 3% of the nation's wealth is held by, and 90% of the nation's wealth is held by 3% of the population. That 3% are entrepreneurs, us. And we have the chance to change the future for many. And as we give all we have with the love in our hearts to share the truth with others, there's no secrets or surprises here. Everybody struggles at one point in time, but is your why big enough to drive you to make it through those obstacles? Are you going to pay attention to what the 97% that are failing do? An employee that needs to be told what to do? Or are you going to come to this call and listen to seven-figure earners who have helped other people go from 0 to 7 figures in entrepreneurship? And the funny thing about all 3% that hold the 90% of America's wealth, all 3%, folks, they're entrepreneurs. So when you look at employment, it's a stepping stone to your success to invest into your future. So when we're talking about entrepreneurship, that means business ownership. All businesses cost money to start that are real. Just the electric bill in my father's cafe when I was a kid for the walk-in cooler was over $900 a month. That's not counting employee taxes. That's not counting payroll. That's not counting the supplies for that restaurant. That's not counting insurance. Think about all those costs that a big business has. You have the ability with traffic authority to come in for less than $10,000 to be all in on all scales of it. You can leverage that on a credit card. That's what they're for. And when you look at the monthly payments on that kind of money, we're only talking about $400 a month or a little less than that. And when you stick your nose to the grindstone and practice those daily actions to profits for one full work quarter without skipping a beat, you're going to find yourself in that income stream that so few succeed at $10,000 a month or better. And why? Because you're going to learn the basic things like Joe talked about today. You look at 80% of all transactions take place on the fifth close. And 90% of salespeople never get that far. Mm-hmm. The question to ask yourself is, your why big enough to go the extra mile? And when that why is big enough to go the extra mile, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll walk through walls because you know what you have is the truth. And whether you believe in Jesus Christ or not, he's still the most followed leader in the history of the planet. And he says the truth will set you free. And Joe, it's just an honor to have that to run with here at Traffic Authority. Thanks, man.
You're welcome very much. You're very, very welcome. There he is, the Mountain Man, checking in with some really, really strong language there, dude. And I really appreciate you. And definitely, truth over hype every single time. It is true. It is true that we are number one according to somebody else, MLM rankings. We didn't make it up. Oh, thank you very much, the Mountain Man. 6523. You're next. 6523.
Hey, Joe. This is Monica, live in Portland.
Monica in Portland. How are you today?
I'm great. I called in yesterday.
And Monica, let me point this. Monica is live in Portland. I love that, Monica. I love that you're live in Portland. That's awesome.
So when we talked yesterday, you gave me some really great inspiration, and I took it to heart. It's been kind of a stumbling block of mine for a while, but you told me that imperfect action beats out perfect inaction every time. Mm-hmm. And I took that to heart, and I just want to thank you for being real and coming out, telling it like it is. The transparency here is amazing, and I'm just really, really excited, and I'm plugging in, and I'm going to do my ABCs, and anyway, just thanks.
You're very welcome, Monica, live in Portland. Monica, thank you very much. I'm glad that you got the message, and it is true because everything is always evolving. That concept of Imperfect action. Just do the thing. Somebody once said to me, wealth is attracted to speed, right? It's movement. It's like going somewhere. It's like a magnet, right? And so you just take the action. And if we wait for it to be perfect, we will wait forever. You know, when you just take a look at this traffic authority process, okay, this thing that we have built here, the traffic authority. We came out into the marketplace on August 5th, and the first thing we did was fall flat on our face. For those of you guys that were there on our very first webinar, we had about 5 leaders, internationally renowned individuals. They came out on the webinar, and it was like, are we ready? Are we ready? And we've been working on this thing since January. Are we ready? Yes, we're ready. And we rolled out there, and the next thing we knew, some stuff just showed up, right? There was suddenly a bug in the machine, a fly in the ointment. And we went out there, and we stumbled around in public for a good hour, while the people behind the scenes, the technology guys, were working and fixing stuff with Band-Aids and chewing gum. And we went out there and did it anyway. We took imperfect action. And if you look, right now, there is still stuff being built. Wait till you see what is going to be introduced next Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, we're going to be showing some new stuff that will blow you away. Imperfect action. If you wait for it to be perfect, you will never get started. The beauty is in taking the action. And then in the transparency, you want to talk about taking action, how about that Ree Sutton yesterday, right? When Ree came out and she shared her story, and she's brand new, green is the word she uses. I am green. She got started way back at the beginning of pre-launch, and she crushed it, man. She was a featured personality because zero experience or very limited experience was creating thousands of dollars a month. I think she's up to $7,500 in the last couple of months. I mean, that makes a difference in anyone's life, right? You're talking roughly about $1,000 a week. Come on, man. And all she did was take action. She talked about shooting her first video the other night and overcoming the fear, and the bridge video I'm talking about. And then she said, look at the result. I can go on and on here. Listen, Monica, thank you very much. Monica, live in Portland. Let's go to 3359. Good morning. You're next up.
It's Sabrina from New Jersey. Hey,
Sabrina,
Joe.
how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How can I not be? I'm in traffic authority, Joe. Come on. What are you saying?
There you go. And I saw your video, by the way. And if I can comment, you have the most beautiful head of hair in the world. You know, you really do.
Loves his hair.
It's like your hair is unbelievable. I'm thinking, how is she going to get those headphones? And what she read? You know, I'm going, how's she going to get those headphones over that beautiful head of hair that she's sporting?
His hair. Oh, Lord, everybody loves this freaking hair. It's so funny.
It's true. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. You know what? I was just listening, and I was like, oh, I can't, I'm going to call in. And then I was like, oh, let me give somebody else a chance. Maybe I won't press 1 today. Nah, forget that. Press 1 every day. I was like, you know what? Think about it. This is an amazing organization. I'm just so blessed to be a part of it. Our queen, Rebecca, we love her. We rallied around, listen, let's call everybody, right? Make a sale, buy some traffic. We need to be in the top 10. Right, it wasn't about an individual person, right? It was a force greater than yourself, which sometimes, right, you need to be a part of that. So like you said, it's all of our efforts that have us, we're second to nobody, right? Let's think about that. I mean, the second place person on that list can't even hold a candle. I mean, come on, like 799%? Like, come on, like, get out of here. I totally sent that to my list. I totally had people open it up, calling me back. That's what it's about, right? And listen, I just had to say this. Beverly, you said she's 80?
Yeah.
Right?
Beverly's 80 years young. Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Can we talk about people? I mean, can we just drop the mic right there, Joe?
Yeah, I know.
We can do this. I mean, everybody else just have several seats and get to work.
And and we have people out here who are north of 80. Okay, Beverly's young. She's a young chick compared to some of the other people who've come out on this radio show. I mean, it's amazing when you look at what's going on here, and it's across the spectrum, right? We got people who say, "Hey, I'm only 18. Can I get in here because it's so cool?" And then we got people who are way north of 80 saying, "Wow, I'm learning something new. This is so exciting." It is amazing. It really is amazing, Sabrina, what's going on here. It is cool. And it is a team effort, right? Sabrina's talking about that MLMrankings.com. It's percentage-based increase, views, 799% increase. And the number 2 company was at 69%. I'm like, whoa.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
How cool is that?
It's not even close. And you know what? Just want to say, like, I come listen to the radio, and we can use these testimonials, right? Sometimes if maybe your story might not be as good, right? But yesterday I was talking to a lady, and she was like, I'm retired, or she's like, I'm about to retire, and I used Bree, because guess what? I was like, listen, Bree can do it, so can you.
That's
so,
right.
These are stories that, right, we can use. We can sell them, right? Stories make the sales, right? So, I mean, listen, people, if Beverly can do it and Bree can do it, we can all do it, okay?
Yep.
Joe, thank you so much for having me. I'm so blessed to be here. Rock on.
And thank you, Sabrina. Sabrina's brand new. You guys, Sabrina's story, right? I think today might be her 16th day as a member of our community, and she's already won the headphones, and she's made money, and she's building a list. And Sabrina, I want you to send me a video of you wearing the headphones. It'll be a sad day, though, to see you be crushing that beautiful head of hair you got. 4653, you're next up in the queue. Good morning. Hello, 46.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Florence Steen.
Florence?
Steen from Washington, D.C.
Florence Steen, how are you?
I'm doing fine, from Washington, D.C. I was calling about Mary with the not being able to, the link not being able to work.
Mm-hmm.
I also had the same problem, and I checked with GetResponse, and the problem is that I needed to clean out my browser because the email company was sending it to something false, and and cleaning out my browser solved the problem.
It did. So you actually just emptied your cache and cleaned your history and cleaned up your browser?
Right.
There it is. Mary, if you're still on the line, Florenstein calling in from Washington, D.C. Mary in Maryland. Okay, there it is right there. Florenstein, thank you very much for paying attention and for hanging around. What else is going on with you? You all right?
Yes, I'm doing fine. I'm working the program. I'm hanging in there. I'm learning a lot, and I'm almost to the 80 line. I'm 78. So
almost.
Almost to the 80 line. And things are working. Things are coming along. I can see the picture on the wall that I'm going to be up there, one of the top ones in the near future.
There it is. Thank you very much, Florenstein, for checking in from Washington, D.C., and for actually paying attention, right? There it is, Mary in Maryland. If you're still there, try cleaning your cache. Clean out the history on your browser. And that's coming from somebody who's pushing 80. Thank you very much, Florenstein. 1650, you're next up in the queue.
Good morning, Joe. Barry in Tucson here, buddy.
Barry Earnhardt, how are you today, Barry? What's going on, brother?
Doing well. Enjoying this rain. I'm sure you're getting some of it up there too, huh?
Yeah, it rained last night really, really, really hard yesterday afternoon. And if you got it in Tucson, I know it's heading north. I'm looking forward to it. It's cold up here, bro. It was 50 degrees this morning. That's like whoa, 52 I think it was. I had to close the windows.
I know it's saying 56 right now on my phone.
Nice. So what's going on? How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. The weekend's here, We're wrapping up another great week here at the Tribe, and got my traffic turned on yesterday from Greg, and looking forward to a busy weekend with a lot of leads, doing the thing, buddy.
Do the thing and continue to send them the email. And one of the things we're talking about the MLM rankings for what it's worth. I mean, perception is reality, and people want to be part of something cool. And we are the number one ranked as far as growth. Take a look at what that means, right? We're trending, which means we're just getting started. So make sure people are aware of that. All of you guys, make sure you let people know where we are in the worldwide rankings. It's really, really cool.
That's incredible. I mean, holy MLM rankings, Batman. I mean, really, I definitely sent that out to my list, and I'm going to send a follow-up for last night out to him again today. Want to close with thanks you for the shout-out yesterday at the end of the show and that song. I love me some Joe Cocker.
How about
that was awesome.
I knew that you would dig that. Get by with a little help from my friends, and that's how we do this, man. We do this as a unit, as a team. And, we hear about some of these leaders and Rebecca's team and Vincent's team, and we hear people talking about the team, but this is one team. It's the Traffic Authority team. I mean, where else can you go in the world of the Internet and get Florenstein from Washington, D.C., who's almost 80, been hanging around here for an hour and a half so she can tell Mary in Maryland that she learned something about, cleaning her cache so her email and she's like sending emails, right? She's sending the list to her list. She's inviting people to the webinars. Where else in the world does that happen?
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, Barry. Have a good weekend, man. Thanks for checking in today.
You too, Bubba.
Will do. 4275, you're next up in the queue. Good morning, 4275.
4275 here.
Yes, 4275, reporting for duty. Who's this?
Ralph, in Connecticut.
Hey, Ralph. Ralph in Connecticut. How are you, Ralph?
Okay. I got some complaints, but I think they're going to work out.
Well, I got to tell you.
I really haven't done too much with it yet, but I'm going to work on it. I've been on the, when they first started with ILS, I started then. And I'm doing a lot of different things here to make this go.
Excellent, Ralph. Well, can I, if I may I make a comment?
Go ahead.
Because I was there in ILS. My first day in ILS was Super Bowl Sunday. The last Super Bowl. Remember the one where at the very last play of the game, the Patriots made an interception against the Seahawks? That was my first day in ILS. So I've been here for a long time. I've seen it come. I've seen the roller coaster, and right now, as you've been sitting here for a long time, you've heard from people around the world who are having. We've heard from people who are 80 years old. We've heard from people who are in their 20s. We've heard from people all across North America. We've heard from people as far away as Stonehenge in England. We've heard about people making thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. We've heard about people in their first 15 days making money. We've heard about people in their first 15 days building lists. We've heard about people in their 60s who are making $1,000 a week. So, Ralph, what's the problem? Just do the thing.
No problem. I just got to get time to do it.
Just do it, bro. And what else did we talk about today? The other thing we talked about today is time. How much time do we have in a day? How much time do we have in a week? And what are we doing with our time? So, with all respect, man, I can appreciate what you're doing. I'm happy that you waited around here. Do you have enough time? In a week, there are 168 hours in a week. 56 hours you're sleeping, 40 hours if you have a job you're working, 35 hours you're either eating, showering, traveling, and then probably, if you're me, you're watching me some football, you're watching me some hockey games, you're watching me doing some walking around the park. You're watching me going to the Halloween, so you say, okay, Ralph, you said it yourself. I got to find the time. So, boom, there it is.
I'll find it.
Do the thing. I thank you very much, Ralph, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come in here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Looking forward to hearing from Ralph very, very soon, celebrating his success with the family. 6765, you're next up in the queue.
Joe, it's Gary from Duluth. How you doing?
Gary, I thought that was you in the queue. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really awesome. Hey, listen, speaking about teamwork, I wanted to give a shout-out to Ree because she reached out to me on Facebook yesterday and made my day and thanked me for Tuesday night's webinar, and that tickled me to death. So I really appreciate her doing that. But the other thing I wanted to say was, every time I'm turning around, I'm finding out something new. And, you talked about this coming Tuesday night, we're going to have some great stuff coming. But, man, there's still so much stuff back there. I went in there, I'm doing the email and stuff, and I dived into that Twitter training that Vincent has, and I've been implementing that. But then Kara talked about the Facebook training again yesterday, and I thought, I know the Facebook event stuff. I don't really need to do that. But then I went ahead and started looking at it again this morning, and, man, I picked up some more nuggets. So, there's all kinds of stuff in there if people want to dive in there and get into it. So, there's more than enough to do. So do the thing. I mean, there's lots of things to do. So just take action. Get in there and take action and do different things. And man, your business will grow. It has to grow. It's kind of like what Gilbert said. Just follow the steps, do the stuff, and man, your business is going to grow. You can't fail. So just wanted to say that today. I appreciate it.
And Gary, stick around with me for a minute here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the guy I talked about an hour and a half ago when I was doing my spiel. When I was talking to you guys about what happened this week, I mentioned a guy that was on the traffic control board. We featured him on the webinar Tuesday night. This is that guy. This is Gary Chappell. This is the guy I was talking about. And Gary, I mentioned, I think further on in this morning's radio broadcast, I talked more about your history and about, suddenly it's 2007, 2008, and you're like, man, I'm making six figures, but I'm bored to death, and there's got to be more. And then you made a decision to learn some new things, right? And it's taken time. And you're here with us, and you are a seasoned veteran. You have been recognized in other companies as a top performer and a top producer. You're a coach. And here you are this morning saying, hey, I'm still learning some stuff. It's like, I think we were joshing the other day. It's like, can you teach an old dog new tricks? And for the guys who are listening right now, in Ralph in Connecticut a moment ago, right, here's a guy, Gary, who just said, okay, I better learn some new things way back. What was it, 2007, 2008, Gary? And since then, you're still a student. And the other day when I talked about this, you're a guy that, you're a leader. You're a leader in the industry. You're a guy who's making money. You're a guy who's recognized. And you're a guy who is humble enough to say, just now, a young chick named Kara talked about a Facebook training. I thought I might know that already, and then I go and look, and boom, I've learned something new. It's a skill set. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to school here. This is a skill set that you will learn how to email, how to monetize a list, how do you simply post on Facebook. And when you learn the skill, it is something that you can do in a very short period of time. Ralph in Connecticut, you got to find some time. Crawl out of bed a half an hour earlier. Crawl out of bed an hour earlier. Don't you think, Gary, that there's plenty of time, and some of the things you mentioned, that you alluded to the premium training, the Facebook training that's back there, the Twitter training that's back there. Maybe you can give people a little bit of your experience of what did it take, when you made the decision to get started, and then you had to go out there, right? Was there programs like the Traffic Authority that had all of this in one place? We heard from a couple of women this morning that talked about what it was like, out there. We heard from Kim and we heard from Cass from Staten Island talking about putting together, they're out there on the internet looking to learn how to monetize, build a list, how to make money using Twitter. And it's all these different pieces floating around. And you got to try and capture them and assemble them in some cohesive, okay, this makes sense. Maybe you can speak to your journey and what it was like, when you got started back in the day and had to learn some stuff. And now you're here as Traffic Control Board member, dude. Let us.
I think people just really need to realize what they have here in Traffic Authority. I mean, you and I will agree because we are old dogs. But, when I started back in 2007 even, I mean, I've been honest about this. It took me about 18 months before I started making really good money. I mean, I was at it every day, and it seemed like I was butting my head against the wall because I wasn't making much progress. And it really did. It took me about 18 months before I finally started making it back then. And, man, things have come so far now. I mean, it's much easier today to be a success online. And with Traffic Authority, it's like what Vince says. I don't think people realize, but, you always had to join a business first and spend money to get your business up and running. And then you had to go out there and generate traffic. And with Traffic Authority, I mean, we are traffic. So we've got the best of both worlds. It's much easier now. So, again, like Gilbert said, get in there and just follow the steps in your back office, and don't do it half-heartedly. If you've got the money to get in and do the whole thing, do it. I mean, you need to get the Traffic Optimizer and the Traffic Academy and get the premium reseller if you can, and then get the highest package you can. And if you do that, you're going to find success. I mean, you can't fail. I mean, it's just I hate to say automated income because I don't like that term, and we all, we know what that's about. But, I mean, I haven't seen anything that's about as automated as this, because if you just follow the steps and get the traffic and then use your funnels that are back there, you're going to start getting leads. And then it's just all a matter about connecting with your leads, and that's where these other skills come into play. You do have to reach out to your leads. You do have to make connections with your leads. And if you do that, you're going to have success. You're going to start building your own team, and you're going to finally have a successful business. So, it's not as easy as people make it out to be. But I'm telling you, with traffic authority, it's about as easy as you can get.
Absolutely. Gary, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gary. He's one of our Traffic Control Board members. You'll hear more from him. He's going to be a featured guy on our webinars moving forward, and we're going to be looking for more Traffic Control Board members. Traffic Control Board members are people who are committed to the business. They're 3-star qualified. They're buying traffic. They are at least at the gold level. There are some things that we want to make sure that you have going for you because you're going to have the platform. Like Gary, thank you very much coming out here, sharing the platform, and really bringing some truth, transparency, and real education to the table. Gary, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it moving here. I got 7,300. That's the last 4 digits of your telephone number. You're next up in the queue, 7,300.
Good morning, Joe. This is Kenna from Washington.
Kenna, how are you? How are you feeling? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better. Well, a couple questions. First of all, my traffic has stopped. I haven't had traffic for 3 days now.
Okay.
Is that
do you still?
me?
No, the traffic is flowing. Traffic, as we heard earlier from Kim in Niagara Falls, that's how traffic is flowing right now. So, we just heard Barry come out. Barry just bought traffic yesterday, day before yesterday. He was on pending link review, and he just said, "Man, my traffic is flowing. I'm looking forward to an exciting weekend." And Kenna, right now, I'm going to send in a note. What is your last? Kenna, what is your last name? I'm sorry.
Young.
Kenna Young.
Y-O-U. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm sending in a note right now to the Traffic Control Division. People who actually do their responsibility is traffic acquisition, keeping traffic flowing, and I just sent in a note that says Kenna Young says traffic stopped.
Yeah, since the 27th, and even a couple days before that, I was only getting like 4 leads a day.
All right. Did you check to make sure that you have your traffic on? Because you can suspend your traffic and you can limit your traffic. Are you sure that your traffic? Okay. All right. And you said you had a couple of questions, Kenna. What was your other one?
I was wondering how if you can help me or anybody how to handle people who are very rude. I've gotten one email just came in this morning, and I won't read it because it's very nasty. But it basically says, leave me alone, blah, 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 blah. I will not hesitate, and I don't even know what this means, hesitate to head bit you, which is headbutt, I don't know. So do I just take her off my list and get response? Do I respond to her? I mean, obviously she can unsubscribe herself, and she doesn't know that, but well, how do I handle this?
Okay, let me before I go there, did you change a URL or do anything?
No.
Let's see.
I haven't touched the URL. Oh, you're talking about my traffic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. She says she has not changed, and he's saying that the Traffic Control Division is saying that you have changed it. I said Kenna Young says traffic stopped since the 27th, and she says if they change URLs, they stop traffic. I asked the question while you and I are talking. I said, did she change URLs? And the answer says, how would I know that she changed URLs? How would I know that unless I saw that she changed her URL? He says, I cannot guarantee, but he says, I can guarantee traffic has not stopped. So I'll handle that. We'll get back into that in a moment. As far as your other question is, what do you do? Okay, you got a rude response on an email. The first thing I would do, and this is the truth, I don't mean to be glib, I would be grateful. I would be grateful that you have that person out of your hair, and you can send them back a note and say, if you wanted to, you can say thank you for your comments. I accept them. I humbly accept your comment, tell the truth, and say at the bottom of the email that you received, there's an unsubscribed button. If you would like to be off my list, please unsubscribe, or else I will continue to share with you what is going on with the Traffic Authority, ranked number 1 by MLM Rankings Magazine. That's what I would do. And then I would just let it go. Just let it go. There are 18 million people in the world, in the North American continent, who have home-based businesses. Right now, Traffic Authority is delivering about 20,000 leads a day. 20,000 leads a day. And of those 20,000 leads a day, the lion's portion is going to the people who are vested in their business. So there are so many people to get to and so many people to share with, and just be grateful that this one's out of your hair. And you've learned a lesson here that we can't be everything to all people all the time. And one of the 4 agreements, I don't really talk that much lately about the 4 agreements. Get that book, The 4 Agreements. One of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally. This person, who knows? They're having a bad day. They've been hammered by people. They want to butthead you. They don't even know you. Why would somebody want to butthead a total stranger unless they're a real butthead? They need some love, man. But don't take things personally. Just let it go, okay? Just let it go. And, you know what I mean?
It's not. I was just wondering how to handle it.
You're handling it very, very well, okay? Okay. Ken's traffic order is running. For some reason, you were off the rotation, but it's working right now. Let's see. They get back in the rotation, and this will work for anyone who sees their traffic stop. Pause the order, update the order, and it will turn back on.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kenna.
All right.
I'm glad.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're feeling better. That's Kenna from Washington. Feeling better. Kenna was sick for a while. She came home and boom shakalaka. She had money. She had leads. 4275. You're next up in the queue.
4275 here again. I got a question. Yeah. Ralph.
Hey, Ralph.
I can't get to the Thursday webinar, and all of a sudden it just stopped. I don't know why.
Well, if you're going to trafficweblive.net, that webinar is playing.
Traffic Web.
W-E-B. Traffic Web.
Let me write it down. Wait a minute.
And let me tell you something, Ralph. Every single day.
Write it down. Wait a minute.
All right, wait. You wait a minute. Every single day we send you the daily marketing plan. And the daily marketing plan has all of these links and all of these URLs right in there, my friend. So I will give it to you again. Write it down. But this stuff is available to you right there. It's available to you. But Traffic Web at WEB, all scrunched together, trafficweblive.net. And that's going to take that's the Tuesday night webinar. There it is. And the webinar that played yesterday is at, you ready? It's at topsecretmeeting.net. And then forward top T-O-P. Top secret, like topsecretmeeting.net. Topsecretmeeting.net. And then / topsecretmeeting.net / your personal username. Whatever your username is, whatever it is, put your username after the / and that is your webinar link. That is the link that people will respond to. That is the link that is worth a fortune to you, Ralph, I promise.
Okay. Thank you
very much. You're welcome, Ralph. Glad I could help. 0618, you're next up in the queue. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, everybody. This is Gil James in New York. I just want to respond to the young lady who was saying that she was really touched and maybe kind of shaken by the negative response she got from somebody online. And I just wanted to say to her and underline for her in red ink that the truth is, as Mountain Earl says, we're talking in terms of truth and not hype. But the truth is, other people's opinion of her has nothing to do with her. Like Joe said, it's all, the person could have got up on the wrong side of the bed. Their tooth could be hurting. They may have stumped their toe going to the shower. They may have found out their child played hooky or something. But the negatives of the world has nothing to do with you. Each and every one of us came from a divine or a infinite intelligence that created the universe. I always say that the facts are we came through our mother. That's a fact. But the truth is, if you look deep into this, the truth is we came from divine energy that created the sun, moon, and stars and then expressed itself as each and every one of us. But a lot of us don't know that. But we have to remember, and that young lady needs to know, that whatever negative things that people say about her or what she's doing is not the truth of her. She wouldn't have an idea of success unless she had the inner power to manifest it. So I just wanted to share that and encourage her some, that to keep on keeping on, you're on the right track, and success is before you.
Gilbert James,
Joe.
thank you very much. You're very, very welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, do you think traffic authority is really just about traffic? We're getting into some real personal development stuff here, right? It's really, really cool. Thank you, Gilbert James, for checking back with us. 1022, you're next up in the queue.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Joseph.
Hi.
Hello, it's Robert Bradshaw. 2 weeks ago, I called you about that web link to the Facebook, and I'm aware you talked to someone earlier. The broadcast said that it's sent out to the October plan this month, and it gives out the web link to the traffic authority on Facebook. Well, it gives me it won't take me to there. It gives me some, it says it's not available, or it won't allow me to access to it. It gives me.
Let me, Robert. Let me ask you if you would just kindly, do a little routine maintenance on your own computer. Clean the cache. If you go into the history, you should be able to clear the history, clear the cache, clear the cookies. We heard earlier today, if you were listening, we heard early this morning when we first got started, Mary in Maryland was having a problem. And then we heard Florence Steen from Washington, D.C. about an hour later come and say, you know what? I had the same problem. But what I did was clean my cookies, clean my browser, and the problem went away. Because, Robert, I would suggest to you that we've got tens of thousands of people, right? I mean, 20,000 people on Facebook, give or take. And if this was a systemic, across-the-board issue, across the board issue, then we would be hearing it from others, okay? Now, Carl is listening right now. Carl, thank you very much. Carl says, it sounds like he might not be logged into Facebook. You have to have a Facebook account first.
Yes, I do.
Okay, he does. Okay, there is a Facebook account,
yes,
Carl.
I do. Matter of fact, I was on Facebook with the Traffic Authority private area, and I was trying to explain to you what happened 2 weeks ago. I have a respiratory problem, and I got sick 2 weeks. 2 weeks when y'all had the webinar on a Tuesday, and you thought I was at McDonald's Tuesday night, but I was sick.
I'm sorry,
I was
Robert.
about to go to the doctor at 4 o'clock, and I passed out, and I went to McDonald's in the afternoon, but I didn't forget about going to the Traffic Authority webinar at 8, but because of my respiratory problem, I wasn't able to get in front of my computer, and you thought I was at McDonald's at 8 o'clock when I was at home, but I had to go to bed and take some medicine for it. And you thought I was at McDonald's, but that was not true. And I tried to send you a message on the Facebook, your section, and telling you that I wasn't at McDonald's at 8 o'clock. I was about to go to the doctor, but I couldn't afford to go to it because I'm a low income, and I went to get me a drink at McDonald's, and I was sneezing like crazy. But I was in the Facebook 2 weeks ago at one point on the private, and all of a sudden it went away, and then it has the top part. Do you want to make money like Google and or Facebook, but see, I couldn't get back access to your private area.
All right, well, listen, Robert, here's what I want you to do. Robert, first off, the first thing I want to do is I want you to forgive me, okay? I apologize if I was acting glib or short on a Facebook post. I apologize. I think I remember that comment about McDonald's, and please forgive me, and I've learned something here today because I just have to be more cautious. If I offended you in any way, I'm asking for your forgiveness. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that you reach out to me personally on Facebook, Joseph Richard. Reach to me personally on Facebook, and I'm going to make sure that you are back into that Facebook VIP group. And any situation that you may be dealing with, I will take a personal interest and make sure that we get it fixed for you. Is that okay? Will that work for you, Robert?
Yes.
Okay, and let me say this. Stay away from McDonald's, man. Go get yourself some good, healthy water. A Coke at McDonald's is not doing any of us any good.
I can't afford their food. All I can afford is their tea and chicken sandwich. I'm a low income, only working 2 days to make up for losing money on my bank account. Working.
Robert, here's what I got to do. Is I have to move on, Robert, and I really sympathize with your story, but I want you to remember what you're declaring. You're declaring your poverty, and right now you have an opportunity here in Traffic Authority, all honesty, to make that thing go away. That poverty, tyranny of poverty, right?
Like
that's awesome.
Great car.
All right, 0033.
You have a little wave and you built like a truck.
Hello, I would say that 0033 actually butt dialed us. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. Here's the deal. We've been here for 2 hours and 6 minutes, and our time is come to a close for Friday, the 30th of October. Remember, the Halloween cost is still rolling. The contest is still rolling. Go out there, get yourself some points. Give yourself 3 points for sticking around here this morning. Go give yourself 3 points for posting on Facebook. Give yourself some points. Rack them up. And there's other ways you can get points. Get yourself some traffic. You can use it anyway. Listen, I've got 3 pages of names here of people who joined us this morning. I want to thank every single one of you who took the time to join us to make a contribution. I want to thank every single one of us for the work that you are doing. I want to thank every single one of you for helping the Traffic Authority be ranked number 1 in the MLM rankings for the top trending companies. And trends are interesting. Trending is important because we are just getting started, and that's what it tells us, that we are just, as a unit, as a family, beginning to make stuff happen. Now listen, we'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, time change, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, every Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, for the Visionary Founders Hour. You can come out and share some time with the visionaries and the founders and their invited guests tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back here live on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, for those of you guys who live in Arizona and some places in Indiana, remember, it is daylight savings time. We go 1 hour back. That happens this Sunday. So we'll be broadcasting. If you live in Arizona, be aware of the fact that we'll be going live at 9 rather than 8 a.m. Eastern. But you guys already know that. Again, I want to thank you guys for being here. It's been an extraordinary week. Go post on Facebook. Now is the time to get a little bit better, to get a little bit more efficient. Use our time more efficiently and go post. Let the world know. Send email. Let them know. And watch what happens. Do the thing. Just do the thing. Let's go play in some traffic, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, always look both ways before crossing. See you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we'll be back on Monday as well. Make it a great weekend, everyone.